Today I'm sharing with you an Indonesian cuisine, an original Indonesian cuisine by the name of SOTO. SOTO. If you come to Indonesia, rain or shine, SOTO can be eaten for breakfast, for lunch, afternoon. I don't recommend this with anybody who has cholesterol issues. But soto is itself, in Indonesia, there's over 130 original soto recipes. Hai, kembali dengan Jejak Lahap Indonesia. Salah satu yang aku akan tampilkan sekarang adalah soto. Nah, karena kita mau merangkul orang lebih banyak, mohon dimaklumin kalau aku berbicara dalam bahasa Inggris juga ya, dengan harapan bahwa semakin luas orang yang jatuh cinta sama makanan Indonesia. Hai, di switch gitu aja ya. Dalam bahasa Inggris. Hi, so welcome to Jejak Lahap Indonesia. Today I'm sharing with you an Indonesian cuisine, an original Indonesian cuisine by the name of SOTO. SOTO. If you travel to Indonesia, you will see a lot of these signage by the streets, even in restaurants, even in five-star hotels. And soto is basically an Indonesian soup. What makes it different from soup is that the herbs and spices that you put in the broth. So if you're talking about soup, it's just broth. Whereas in soto, we have an immense amount of ingredients made into a paste, sometimes fried to cook first, but basically, essentially, it's mixed into the broth. So the broth can be goat, it can be beef, it can be chicken, it can be prawn, it can be fish, it can even be vegetable. But what makes it soto versus soup is that there's spices and a whole lot of herbs that get put into the soup base. And whereas in soup, the ingredients are mixed into the broth, soto is the ingredients are separated and you put the herbs and spices of the broth into what becomes your soup, right? Or your bowl. So I'm going to show off. Sorry, but I do come from Borneo, from Kalimantan. My family, my mom, my late mom, she's born in Balikpapan, but a lot of our family from my mother's side is in Banjarmasin. So the first soto that I want to share with you is soto Banjar, just because. But basically, soto, if I read from all the books that I have, there's one particularly that Prof. Murjati made specifically for soto, and I think, where is it? I've got so many books that literally, let me look at this. There you go. Right? But this is a new one, right? But in the old books, let me show you again. My handy dandy notebook. Mustika rasa. All the sotos you can possibly, I mean, look at this. This is like my tabs across Indonesia, from Aceh all the way to Sumba, and you've got all the recipes in this book. My grandmother's cookbook, which she gave to me, also has recipes of soto, and this is since 1902, right, this book, so in the early 1900s. Also this, and you can see all the tabs, right, all the soto recipes. We love our soto. Yeah, that's why it's the government, the Indonesian government, chose 5 main cuisines, which I think it was back in the no, 2017, 2018, where the government tried their best to identify 5 national cuisines, which is rendang, nasi goreng, gado-gado, soto, and satay. So soto is one of them. I'm pretty sure things have evolved, and maybe the government will identify more because you've got so much more. But soto is itself, in Indonesia, there's over 130 original soto recipes, right? So if you've watched the previous episode where I shared with you there's 104 nasi goreng or fried rice recipes, you've got another 130 something of soto. So 2/3 of the year, if you ate nasi goreng every day and then you started with soto every day, that's 2/3 of the year where you've basically eaten not just nasi goreng and soto. And so what I've researched is it may originate from China by the word of SOTO, right, in China, and that's in the 17th century, and through trade, trickled down to Indonesia. Depending on which province you taste your soto, there's going to be a variation of herbs and spices. In Sumatra, there's going to be a lot more spice, and that may be influenced from Middle East and India, where in Java, particularly in West Java, the Sundanese, the Indonesian Sundanese, are known to like fresh ingredients, meaning they don't like to add too much spices. So the soto that I will share with you later, soto Bandung, tends to be clear and very simple, and in a way very hearty from the broth itself, but it's considered a soto just by the ingredients in the soto itself. And so I'm going to start with soto Banjar. So here, in a plate of soto, at least in soto Banjar, let me show you in this camera first, and I'll come over there and show you. This is pindang telur, right? I guess the foreign translation for pindang would be your tea eggs, right? That's what's most similar to what we call pindang, but with us, the broth that we cook the egg with has cinnamon, has cloves, a whole lot of sweet soy sauce, as you know. And then you've got, let me show you here. You've got shredded, chicken. And this is, soun it's not vermicelli, it's potato starch. And then we've got basically the rice cake. Now, soto Banjar is normally eaten with, let me reset my center. Is eaten with rice cake, right? And depending on which soto you eat, some provinces will serve it with what they call lontong, which is, I'll show you in a bit, rice cake that is cylinder. And then you've got the rice cake that we share similarities to Malaysia and Singapore, in which the rice cake is squared. Right, so these rice cakes are usually made into a square using, in Indonesia, we call it ketupat, which is these woven coconut leaves they make into a square. But what I've seen abroad, say in Malaysia, Singapore, and as far as Czechoslovakia, Poland, what they use is basically plastic bags, put holes in it, you fill it with 3/4 of rice, and just boil, and you will get your rice cake. So I've got my broth going. This is a chicken-based broth. It's got, it's boiling, as you can see. Best way to eat soto on a rainy weather like this. And this is where it differentiates from soup. Soup, you would put all this in there, right? And soto, we put all the ingredients out and you pour the herb broth onto your soto. It's usually accompanied by lime, not lemon, to cut into the richness or the fat of it. And then, of course, with bird's eye chili. This is just basically steamed chili, bird's eye chili, which then they process into a paste. You can pound it. You can put it through a food processor. You can blend it. And that's basically your soto. All right? What makes this special, not just because it's from my mom's side of the family, but this broth clearly has Middle Eastern and Indian influence by the herbs of what's put in the soto banjar. If you go into a restaurant and order it, you're going to put the lime on it first, right? And then basically put a little bit of chili if you want a little bit of a kick. Not too much, just enough. And then usually you will just mix it, right? And you see this, it becomes really thick because you've got potato fritters in there, you've got vermicelli in there. Sometimes what my grandmother used to do is actually take the yolk out, and what she would do is she would basically mash the yolk into the soup, and so the soup actually becomes, or the soto actually becomes thicker by the cooked yolk, right? And there you go. And that's soto banjar. One soto. Let me get the other soto for you. Second soto for the day is soto Betawi. Now this is a very special soto for most Indonesians because basically this started way back in the colonial days, right? But back then, what is called soto Betawi was soto Makmum, soto Agus, soto Budiman. They would term it after a person's name who had the place that served this soto. It wasn't until 1970 that a man called let me check my notes, Lee Bun Po, Lee Bun Po, Central Jakarta. He had a food place and it served this soto. But when he passed and the stall closed, people still asked for his soto. And that's when the term soto Betawi came about. Prior to that, it would be called soto and then a person's name. So it was because of him, because of Lee Bun Po, that we now have what you know as soto Betawi. It's basically a broth that has been mixed with either coconut milk or actual milk. And you might find that strange as a non-Indonesian, but most Indonesians know that the alternative for coconut to get that creaminess is to use milk or powdered milk, be it vegetable milk like almond milk or soy milk or just actual cow milk. And that's part of our rich heritage in which soto Betawi can consist of either coconut or milk base. And you've got everything, well, like most cultures, when you sacrifice the cow, everything from the head to its toe gets used. Soto Betawi in Jakarta, you can have just meat, but you can also have that option of having all the other innards. But if that's not your cup of tea, then, you know, just order the one with pure beef. And it's basically served with potato, tomato. You've got spring onions in there. As in the other sotos, you put a little bit of lime to cut into that richness. You've got chili. And for soto Betawi, we usually serve it with rice, all right? And it's, you know, you've got your fried shallots on top. It's served with melinjo on the side. Some people will do this. My hands are clean. Wait, let me get my glove. Some people, when they eat soto Betawi, they will do this. They'll take their melinjo crackers, right? And they will just crush it and mix it into the soto, which basically adds into another texture of the soto itself. So you've got that unctuous of the meat, the broth, the coconut milk. You've got the freshness of the lime and the tomato. You've got that comfort from the potato. And of course, you eat it with rice. It's a full meal. That's soto Betawi for you. I am back. I'm back with the third soto. But before I go into my soto, thank you, Kabaya Jangsri. I love your aprons. Thank you so much. This is a Banten batik motif. And as you see, I'm always wearing an apron. Aprons are important when you cook. It saves you from the splatter and it saves your internal organs from getting direct heat from the oven or whatever it is you're cooking. So now I'm going to, we went from Kalimantan to Batavia or Jakarta. I'm now taking you all the way to East Java, which is, well, you know, I gave soto Banjar for my mom, so I had to be fair to my dad. My dad, my late father, bless him, he loved soto Lamongan. Soto Lamongan is from East Java. It's a turmeric-based, chicken-based broth. You've got basically similar ingredients as the previous one, and I'll show you this. So it's got vermicelli, and what may be different is it's got cabbage, shredded cabbage in there. You've got the egg, you've got the chicken slices. But what makes it Lamongan is what I have here. I'll show it here, right? This is basically crushed prawn crackers with garlic, and they pulsify it into this fine powder, and this is what they mix into the soto Lamongan. It makes it into this rich broth, basically. And let me take, whenever I eat it, my indulgence is, because they always share it with a variation of satés. I don't recommend this with anybody who has cholesterol issues, healthy, but this is crispy chicken skin. And so let me show you here, right? Right? Put it on the plate. And so I'm going to heat up this. I just did, but let me take it up a notch to bring it to boiling point. When you eat soto, you want it into that rolling boil point, because that's when everything just melts into this rich broth. And especially with koya, you need that heat to be able to disperse the powder. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yay. Semangat. Seriously, there is no better thing. Well, maybe depending on what you like. But on a rainy day, to have soto lamongan, this rich yellow golden chicken broth, right? And you mix it. And what Indonesians will do, there goes the fly. But what's different is the chili sauce is also thicker. Sometimes they, as you can see here, they mix it with a bit of tomato just to cut through the richness. It looks clear and simple, but to make this, you basically need hours and hours to create this broth. If you travel in Indonesia, you will see usually by the side of the road this food stall, and they've got this chicken that's slanted on the side, and the pan is, you've got this top that goes outward like this. That's your lamongan. And what that pan does is that it rolls this boiling broth, so it's constantly enriching itself. And the juices from, they dip the chicken in there, take it out, put it on the side, it's slanted so that it dries, and all that juice that comes doesn't get wasted, goes in back into the broth. And that's basically lamongan. And that's why, even though it looks clear, that it's really rich. And I mean, yes, you can make it. If you make it, I suggest, and you make it from scratch, I suggest you start making it the day before you want to serve it, because that's basically how long your broth needs to cook for it to get to the point of that richness, that lagit richness. And you need to make your prawn crackers before, fry them, put it in a food processor with garlic, and so that you will have this koya ready to be served, right? This has already been mixed with it, but I'll just show you a bit just for you to see. Let me see. I've got the camera on top so that I need to see that it's really showcasing this. Is it here? Yeah. You know by this that I'm really lousy with directions. But so there you go. See? As you mix it, it becomes really thick. So see, this is what it was before. It's very liquid. And once you mix that koya in, it becomes really thick. And so with this, Indonesians will eat it with rice. This is not those sotos that you eat with the rice cake. You can. Let me show you. So the Indonesian lontong is usually cooked in this banana wrap cylinder. And once you cut it, it will look like this. So instead of just like this, let me just mix it here so that you see, because it's got this vermicelli, right? Ah, I'm salivating. I'm hungry. I'm always hungry, mind you. Never trust a skinny cook, as they say. Right? So you can see that because of the koya, it's thickened quite a bit. I'm just going to add the soto broth that's still more liquid, so you can see what it would look like if you were to use it, if you were to eat it with the rice cake. See? And again, a little bit of the koya. Let's see how it thickens when you put the koya in. Right? I'm just going to put a little bit because it's harder to mix now with the rice cake. Instant, right? You can see that it And that's why it's important for it to be in powder form. It really does thicken up the broth or the soto base. You've got your lime again to cut through the richness, and then a different type of chili sauce to go with it. So I've had my 3 sotos. Now I'm on the last one. I'm bringing you back to West Java for a soto that's called Soto Bandung. I deliberately picked this soto because it's a little bit different from the other sotos, similar to Betawi in the sense that Betawi has coconut or milk in it, and Soto Bandung doesn't have any of that, and it doesn't have any of the other spices. So it's actually like a soup, clear broth beef soup. And but that's in a way depicts the people from West Java or Sundanese. They like freshness, simplicity in what it is that they're consuming. And so what makes this soto a little bit different is that not only is it clear broth and it doesn't have all this spices and so on, but it's served with radish, right? Just beef, radish, spring onions, and they cook their soya beans, right? And they fry it. So you've got this texture, you've got the unctuous of the beef and the softness of the radish that's cooked in this broth. And then you've got that crunchiness from the soya. And so it's it looks simple. I'm salivating. I'm always salivating because it's just, oh God, if you can smell this aroma. One of my best friends, she's Sundanese, and so her name is Rati. Rati is one of my first Indonesian friends when I came back to Indonesia. So the 4 of us, we went to the University of Indonesia. There's Sari, who's Javanese, Baby, who's from Palembang, and then Rati, who's Sundanese. Now, Rati's mom used to have a catering, so she was one of the first people that basically taught me about Indonesian food. And one of the special sotos that she shared with me is this Soto Bandung, right? Now, she told me, other than the fried soybeans, what usually people do is actually give a little bit, and I mean a teeny weeny bit of sweet soya sauce onto the soto. This thick sauce, I just got, look at that. Can you see how thick this is? Beautiful sweet soya sauce is really thick that it's like only per drop, right? I'm gonna let the last one ooze out. There you go. And it's served usually with rice, right? Can you see that? It's clear. I've deliberately, just to show you, this is the radish, and then you've got the beef, you've got the beans, and the spring onions. Usually this is all mixed. And then with that sweet, just a little bit of that sweet soya sauce goes a long, long way. So, you know, even though soto is clearly an adaptation of what we got from China, China, it's called SOTO, and here, you know, through adaptation, it's called soto. In Indonesia, each province, and we're not even saying, you know, the home cooks that have their own twist on recipes. This is just the original recipes. You have 130. So yeah, if you come to Indonesia, rain or shine, soto can be eaten for breakfast, for lunch, afternoon, heavy snack, for dinner. I mean, there rarely you can find sotos being served after 10 p.m. So almost an all dayer. And basically, if you want clear broth, you want turmeric broth, you want with coconut where it's richer based, we have it all. Indonesia is, I would like to say, the global kitchen, but we're not out there yet in the global arena. So I hope that with me presenting to you about soto, you will try to go out there and experience the wonders of soto in Indonesia. Buon appetito! See you in the next Jejak Lahap Indonesia. Bye!